Welcome in to the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview, proudly presented by Arkansas Tech University, D3 Auto Sales, and by Metcalf Trucking Company. Today we sit down with Marked Tree Indians head coach Waylon Dunn. This Pigskin Preview is brought to you by Greenway. And by Armor Bank.
Hello everyone and welcome into the Hometown Sports Arkansas Football Preseason Preview presented to you by the Arkansas Sports Network. I'm Alex Gallion. Alongside me is the head football coach of the Marked Tree Indians, Coach Dunn. Thank you so much, Coach, for taking time out of your morning to be a part of this interview. I know you're coloring the field later today, but again, thank you so much for being a part of this. Let's go ahead and get right into this. What can you tell us about the Marked Tree Indians last season?
Well, I mean, last year we had a really good year. Made it to the semifinals. Yeah. Had a lot of kids that contributed and made plays. So we got some kids back, and so hopefully we can build off that and take it a step further this year.
What can you tell us about that playoff run last year?
It was pretty amazing. The thing that was, I tell people sometimes, 6 of our last 7 games were on the road. Counting 3 playoff games.
Wow.
And so that was a grind, but I thought our kids handled it well, showed some maturity, being able to do that. We go to Hazen and beat them, who's a really talented team, state champion the year before. We go out to Murfreesboro, another talented team. And then we end up getting beat at Bigelow to the defending state champion. So, that's 2 years in a row we've gotten put out by the state champion. So hopefully this year will be a different story. But, kids did a good job. I was proud of them.
How big was that playoff run, not only for the school, but just the community of Marked Tree?
Well, I mean, I think it was big. I mean, this community loves football. They're football intelligent. They understand the game. They know what's expected. And so it was huge for the school, huge for the kids, and obviously huge for the community.
What can you tell us about some returning players from last season?
Our quarterback, Kenyon Carter's back. Kenyon, I thought, had a great year last year. I thought he improved from his sophomore year to his junior year, threw for a little over 2,400 yards. But, the thing I tell people was the most impressive thing was he had 37 touchdowns to 5 interceptions.
Wow.
And so that tells me, he made good decisions.
Yeah.
Did a good job with his eyes and took care of the football. We've got a couple offensive linemen returning, Ryan Wages and Peyton Willoughby. We've got Jonah Walker, who was injured for most of the year last year, but he plays tight end and linebacker for us. Has led the team, the last couple of years in tackles. We've got TJ Hodges at tailback. Last year he had over 1,700 yards, 1,800 yards.
Wow.
So we're excited about him. Tate Swink is a returning starter, plays wing and linebacker. JJ Risper, JJ had 15 touchdown receptions last year, around 900 yards receiving. So we're excited about him. We got a ton of defensive starters back. Landon Lewis is back at safety, and he'll play some receiver. Landon had 5 interceptions last year. 2 of them he returned for touchdowns. Ja'Kamian Williams is a 3-year starter at corner. He also had 5 interceptions last year. Corey Sanderson played some defensive tackle. He's back. So we've got quite a few kids coming back on both sides of the ball. We're excited about some of the other guys that maybe didn't play as much last year. That's going to get an opportunity this year. So just got to stay healthy. That's the thing. Stay healthy at our level. Small school. It's tough when you get one banged up or one hurt.
Yeah. When I want to talk about maybe a surprise player that you're kind of just talking about, maybe someone that could shock some Marked Tree fans.
Well, I've got some kids that I thought had a great offseason. Akai's Hurd was a lineman. Akai's worked really hard in the weight room. Got much stronger. Gavin Teague is another one that's worked really hard in the weight room, and I think he's going to have a chance to play. Matt Guerrero is another one that's gotten stronger. So I mean, there's several kids, and there's even going to be, there's going to be a couple sophomores that I think is going to contribute. Braden Sullivan has worked extremely hard and has come a long ways, and I think he's going to contribute quite a bit on both sides of the ball for us this year. Javon Harris is another one. Him and Braden West have, and you can just see the transformation in their body, the time they spend in the weight room.
Mm-hmm.
They had a good summer, especially in 7-on-7s and those kinds of things. So I think that helped with their confidence, and I think that's going to carry over into the fall.
What can you tell us from a coaching standpoint, the team relationship overall, on and off the field?
And I have some I'm fortunate, and I mean, some people say this, but I have some really good kids. I have some really good character kids. I have some good leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids, knock on wood, they get along. I mean, obviously there's, you got groups where this group hangs out more, this group hangs out with that one, but that just comes along class lines,
Mm-hmm.
Classmates. But it's a really good group of kids, and I'm very fortunate to be able to coach them and just be around them every day. Because like I say, they're good character kids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I got some that are funny and make you laugh every day too. So
Mm-hmm.
that helps too.
What could you tell us? Obviously, you being the head coach of the Montreat Indians, a lot of the attention, positive or negative, is going to go straight towards you. What can you tell us about the assistant coaches and who they are and what they do?
Coach Wages, Michael Wages is our defense coordinator. He's been doing that for a long time. Liam Teague, Liam coaches the secondary and the running backs. Of course, he's been doing it for 20 plus years. And Coach Permenter is our assistant principal. He's coached before. Then he kind of got into the assistant principal administration job, but he's going to come back and help us with senior high football this year, so it's going to be good to have him. And then Coach Brandon used to be the head coach here, kind of retired, and I've kind of got him to come back and help. So having his knowledge is always a plus. And then Zach Davis is volunteering with us, but Zach was a heck of a quarterback in high school. Played, his dad was a coach, and so he works with Kenyon and the receivers, our quarterback and receivers. And I thought he did a good job with them last year. So we got a pretty good staff of guys with a lot of experience, and so hopefully that'll pay off.
How's the offensive scheme going to run for this year for you guys? Is it going to stay the same as last year?
Well, yeah, it's not going to change much. I mean, when you got a running back like TJ Hodges, you're going to feed him the ball, no doubt. But in the same sense as if people try to take that away, then Kenyon is a good enough quarterback, and we got good enough receivers, and JJ and DeJuan Smith, who I didn't even forgot to mention him. I think DeJuan got hurt last year and missed half of the season, maybe close to it, with a broken foot. But he's electric, and he's going to be a name to watch for sure. But I mean, all those kids that I mentioned, Landon, Tate, just came in. Joshua Rand is another one. I think is coming into his own out there at receiver. So when we got kids that can catch the ball and run, so we feel good about us. You try to be 50-50, like every coach tries to do. They try to be balanced and that kind of deal. But we feel good about what we got. I mean, it's just it's a tough conference.
Yes,
you have to play well every week. Some really good teams in this conference, some really well coached teams in this conference. So you're not just going to show up. You got to be prepared. And you got to stay healthy, and you got to take care of the football and not commit penalties for sure.
Mm-hmm. What's the defensive side of the ball going like for you guys?
Everything starts with John Walker over there on that side of the football. Jonah's been leading tackler the last couple of years. We feel real good about the back end back there in the secondary. We're going to be looking the same kind of like we have the last few years, same kind of scheme. But, I think the biggest thing is just continuing to try to be aggressive and be good tacklers. That's the other thing. And pay attention during the week and know your role and know where you're supposed to be. And our kids have done that, so hopefully they'll continue to do that. And we'll be better defensively too.
I want to talk about the schedule first. What's the scrimmage game going to look like for you guys this season?
We're going to Cave City. We've been playing a jamboree, but Manila was one of the teams that was in the jamboree, and now they're on the schedule, so we kind of couldn't do that. So it ended up just Cave City has come here the last 2 or 3 years to be a part of the jamboree, so they asked me to come there, and so that was only fair.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going there, and of course it'll be a controlled scrimmage, like most of them,
Mm-hmm.
But it gives us a chance to get a look at kids and get them all in and let them see them on tape.
And it's a good start.
Yeah, it's a good, and it's a bigger school, so that'll be a challenge. That's kind of what the scrimmage looked like. As far as the non-conference, we opened with Newport.
They're in that top 3 in conference.
They're going to be a handful for us for sure. But it was kind of hard finding people.
Yeah.
Non-conference wise, some of the teams that I played in the past, weren't able to play, so we had to go looking elsewhere.
A lot of coaches are going through that right now.
Yeah.
This season.
So Newport was open, and they were willing to come to us. The schedule worked out, just home and away, trying to keep that balance. And it worked out that they come to us. So obviously that's going to be a very tough ball game to open up with. And then we go to Manila week 2, and then week 3, well actually 0. Then week 1, then week 2, we have Girding at Girton.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we'll be open the week after that and start conference play.
So Girton drive's going to be a little long.
It is. We've talked about trying to play somewhere in between if we can, but
maybe a neutral site.
Yeah, we've talked about it. But he was looking for a game, I was looking for a game, and it was kind of like, hey, it's if we got to go there and you have to come here the next year, then that's what it is. At least it's early, so it's temperature's not too bad early. And,
that's true.
And that kind of deal. And hey, going that far, the kids get out of school probably a little early, so they don't mind that too bad.
No, not at all.
It's the coming home part that's always the worst part, that long ride home afterwards.
But if you get the win,
if you get the win, it's always better. Yes.
Yeah. What's the conference going to look like for you guys this season?
Man, last year we had a great year. I was really proud of these kids. We made it to the semifinals. First time that had happened since I believe it was 1972.
Oh wow.
But we were really close to not even making the playoffs. We won 2 or 3 games that we could have easily lost. We were down 14-0 to Earl, we were down 14-0 to McCrory. We were down at halftime to Cross County. So it's just, that's the kind of conference this is. There's no gimmies. You've got Desart that's, they've either won the conference or been conference runner-up the last couple of years. Same way with EPC. Earl is always a talented group. You got McCrory. It's always tough football with McCrory, well coached.
Mm-hmm.
Cross County is going to be good. Coach Pascal does an outstanding job. He's a state championship coach. There's some really good coaches, and there's some really good teams in this conference. So it's important to be healthy, and that's kind of sometimes a deciding factor, especially late in the year. Sometimes is you'll talk to coaches and they'll talk about, man, I'm a little concerned going in that game because so-and-so's hurt or he's banged up or can't play, because this conference is a physical conference, and that happens. You get kids beat up. So hopefully we can stay healthy and take care of the football and be successful, because again, it is a tough conference.
I got to ask you, Coach, one last question.
Sure.
This season will be successful for the Mark Tree Indians if?
Well, again, the biggest thing is stay healthy.
That's a lot of coaches.
I think that's the biggest thing is we have to stay healthy. We can't afford to get kids banged up. And then, you know, the other thing is just taking care of the football, you know, not turning the ball over and giving it away and that kind of stuff. But if we can do that, I feel good about our chances. I mean, you know, it's going to be a dogfight every week. I just know it. I mean, the last 2 years it's been that way.
It's football for you.
So yeah, you're gonna have Lady Luck smile on your son and you know, stay healthy and just hope play with them.
This has been Coach Dunn of the Mark Tree Indians. Thank you so much, Coach, for joining me. You can check out all the Hometown Sports Arkansas football previews presented to you by the Arkansas Sports Network, all live here on YouTube and Facebook. And don't forget to like us on Instagram at AR Sportsnet. I'm Alex Gallion, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks again for joining us on the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Arkansas Sports Network on YouTube to catch more previews and all the latest updates on your favorite teams.